Good morning, children. Today we'll start our new chapter on Python. Python is a high-level programming language. So it was, created by Guidio. And let me start by sharing the screen with you. Yes, this is your second chapter, Python. This is a programming language, and you can see this is the icon for the Python. And Python was created by Guido van Rossum. He's a person who created Python. He is a Dutch, programmer, and he was born in Netherlands on January 31st, 1956. And his programming language has brought a change in the history today. And Guy Maupassant has completed his degree in, he's completed his master's degree in mathematics and computer science. He is given the title as benevolent dictator for life. And because he had created the Python, which has given life to the today's generation. And you can see this is ideal. It's one of the text editors that we are going to use for creating the Python program. Let's start and learn a little more about Python. Python is a general purpose, interpreted, interactive, object-oriented, and a high-level language. Like Java, it's also object-oriented. And it was created by Guido van Rossum in the year 1985 till 1990. Till 2018, Guy Maupassant has stepped down from having this more interaction with Python. There are many other people who are continuing with this work. And Python was created by Guy Maupassant because he was a fan of a British comedy movie. It's called Monty Python Flying Circus. And that's why he's given his programming language as Python. Python is like Perl. Python also, its source code is under the GNU, that is a general public license. They provide softwares and other systems for the programmers to create their programming language. Python is more simpler than C++, more simple than Java. It's the easiest language to learn and the fastest growing language in today's world. Python is now taught in schools, it's taught in colleges. Most interesting thing is that big companies like Google, YouTube, Dropbox, Yahoo, NASA, they all use Python as their main language or a supportive language. Let's take the example of Google. Google's maximum, their features, many of their features are the features that are coded with Python programming language. And Reddit is one of the biggest websites. Their website is coded and it's written in Python. What do you do with this Reddit? Reddit allows you to, give likes. It allows you to write your comments. This is the work of this big website. Now, with the development of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, research scientists, they want to do their research in various fields, and they don't have time to actually learn a new programming language. And programming languages are very difficult, but Python is one of the easiest programming language. Like I told you, it's very easy to learn. So all the scientists are learning this programming language to do their research in their various fields, like in medicine, in space centers, in biological works, physics, chemistry, anthropology, and in the environmental science. These are some of the fields where the research scientists work. Now, you know that we have many types of operating systems, like Android operating system, then iPhone operating system, Windows, Unix. All these type of operating systems, they they are supported by Python. So Python actually supports all these operating systems. So the Python interpreter can run on the same code on all these multiple platforms. It does not need a recompiler or a new compiler to do this compilation work. Okay, so all these operating systems, they can Python can run on all these type of operating systems. I hope you understood more about Python. Like now, what are the features of Python? As I told you, it's very easy to learn because you have many simple structure of it, very few keywords, and the syntaxes are very clearly defined. Like how you have in Java, you have that public static void main and all that, but there are more simpler English language to use where you can understand. It's very easy to learn Python. It's very easy to read and understand this Python codes because it's very clear in a simple language. It's easy to maintain because as I told you, it can run on different platforms. The source code is very easy to maintain. Then a broad library, standard libraries, it's portable. I told you the bulk library is portable. You can take all this, the information that you did on one type of programming language and use it on a the platform is compatible. Like you can take that, the Unix, Windows, and Macintosh, all of them can take the Python programming language and do their programming. Then interactive mode. Interactive mode is it allows to interact, testing, debugging. What is debugging? It checks, identifies, and removes all the errors that are there in your program. Or snippets. Snippets are like your text editors like IDL, which you're using for Python. This is managed by snippets. So here, as I told you, it's always in an interactive mode and it allows to do the testing. It tests the program, the code. Portable. It's you can run it on a wide variety of hardware platforms. It's run on all type of platforms. So same interface you can use for various platforms. Then extendable. So even if you have a low level module, Python can do the interpretation on these low level modules. The modules enable programmers to add to. You can customize these tools. It's very efficient. So you can always develop on these codes of Python. Database. Python provides interface to all major commercial databases. I think you know we have many types of database, and so it provides interface to all these major commercial database. You know the different commercial places that you use it, right? As I gave you an example before this. Now, GUI programming. Python, what is GUI? Graphical User Interface. So Python supports GUI applications that can be created and ported to many of the systems and libraries and Windows system. What are the different? You can take this application and use it on Windows and Macintosh, Windows XP, Unix, and all these type of thing. And all these different platforms, it supports GUI supports all these type of platforms. So Python uses the GUI. It's supported by GUI applications. Okay. Now let's learn how to download Python. To install Python, first you go to the web browser, type http://www.python.org and click on downloads. You will find the link. You can see the installer Python. You can install 3.8.6 and MIS is your miscellaneous files. That's a version that you are going to apply. Okay. When you say Python 3.8.6 MIS, that is Microsoft installer files. So it's from Microsoft Office, and the version needed to support and check the Windows system. It should support. Anyhow, it is Microsoft installer file, so it will support Windows. Then Microsoft installer 2. Save this installer in the local machine, run it. and you can find that the machine supports MSI, that is Microsoft Installer. Run the downloaded file, then you can, it brings up the Python installer wizard, and which is easy to use. Accept the default settings. I think I should show it to you practically. So here you will type HTTP. I already actually downloaded. Click on this. I'm using Windows 8.1. You can check what you're using. And here you can see downloadpython.org. Click on this downloadpython.org and click on downloads. See, 3.9 is there now. You can click on this and automatically your Python starts getting installed. Right? Okay. Now here you have tokens. What are tokens? Tokens are the smallest units of program. You have to follow, and the tokens that are there in Python are reserved words, identifiers, literals, and operators. We'll check each one separately. What are reserved words? Reserved words are also known as the keywords. They have special meaning for the compiler and the interpreter. So as I told you, the compiler takes your program and then it converts it into a machine language which is understood by both, actually do the same type of work, and it's converted into a binary system or a machine language into zeros and ones. These are some of the keywords like return. You cannot use the word return in your programming when you're doing your programming. So from, global race, class, the word class, del, else, else if, import, pass, accept, break, not. These are some of the reserved words in Python which cannot be used when you're doing a because they are reserved for some type of a keyword. Okay, the next thing, we'll start with first one. First one is, as I told you, identifiers. What is an identifier? Identifier is a sequence of number or a character. It can be a number or character. So like 3 or 4 or whatever it is, or if you're giving a character like X or whatever. So these are names given to basic building blocks in your programming. I'll be doing the practical so you'll understand. So what are these? These can be, what are these building blocks? Class, variable, functions, objects, list, dictionary. We'll be doing practicals on all these things. And what is a class? A class is the blueprint that defines the behavior and the state of the object. So then you understand what is an object. Then list, I'll show you how to do it. What is variable? That is assigning value to any variable. Then rules for defining these identifiers. When you are using this, the first word should be always be a character, or you can use an underscore, but you cannot use any digits like 1, 2, 3, 4, none of the numbers. Okay, you can use a character or an underscore for your as a first character. Then no special characters can be used, like dollar and all cannot be used. You can only use underscore. Then reserve words cannot be used. Just now I showed you the reserve word from and del and so many other words. These reserve words cannot be used as an identifier. Okay, the identifier is your class, right? Then Python is case sensitive like Java and others. Python also is case sensitive programming language. You cannot use small a for a big A. They are two different identifiers. Okay, children, thank you. Have a nice day. Do all your homework. Stay safe.